Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're going to be looking at the last of the Joyride Halo figures that I'm going to be reviewing. This is the Halo 2 Arbiter figure. Very, very cool figure. One of my favorites from the line. He's just a great representation of the Arbiter. The ones from McFarlane have been a little scrawny and kind of lackluster, not counting the one from Halo Wars. And this one is just, it's a really good representation of Thel, I think. Some people don't care for it, but I do. So let's talk about it. He stands 8.5 inches tall to the highest point, however you want to pose him. It doesn't matter. It's either this or this, but either way. Again, I'm sorry about this. I don't know which weapons actually came with him. I'm assuming these are the right ones. I've got the energy sword and the carbine. So I think those are the right ones, but I can't say for sure because I didn't buy any of these at retail. He can hold the carbine just fine. Same thing with the energy sword. His hands are nice and rubbery, so you can take the weapons in and out pretty easily. And it looks like he's holding the carbine awkwardly because he doesn't have a wrist pivot. But once you put his hand the way you want it and pose him like he's actually going to be firing the weapon somehow, it's really not as bad as it looks. I mean, I'm just doing it real quick here, so it's not perfect, but it will get the job done. So it's not great, but it's good enough. And then of course you saw the energy sword works just fine in his hand. It doesn't have any paint, unfortunately. It's just a clear plastic. It's got a little bit of a metallic finish to it, like a pearl, but it really could use a little bit of blue, I think. But still, it's pretty nice, and he needed to have it, so I'm glad that they gave it to him. And it's a pretty sturdy material too, so that's good. Okay, let's talk about paint. He doesn't have any of the shading or dry brushing on the armor that would have made him really cool, but the sculpt is phenomenal, so that's enough. As far as the paint goes, on the undersuit, they did a really good job getting all of the line work done. It's a nice representation of the figure. His mouth is painted, his eyes are painted. The head sculpt could be a little better. He's got that real skinny face thing going that a lot of the Joyride elites had. But again, he's still pretty cool. And he looks good, I think. He's not perfect, but he's definitely good enough. As far as articulation goes, the whole top half of the neck and head is on a pivot. In there, you can see the whole neck moves with the head. Hopefully you can see that. And then the head is on a swivel that you can see right in there, a cut joint. So it's got a little bit of articulation there. The shoulders are on ball discs. They're pretty limited due to the armor, but they get enough. There's a swivel there for the bicep. Single jointed elbow gets you about 90 degrees, and then a wrist swivel as well. Same on both sides. So pretty posable, I think. And then even with the bicep swivel, it's not an ugly cut joint. So I'm pretty much okay with that. The torso is on a ball joint. So, well, a ball peg or whatever you want to call that. So he's got a little bit of posability. The swivel is fine. And then of course you've got forward and backward and a little bit of side to side even. So that's good. Then the last bit, oh no, there's 2 bits more. He's got a hip swivel on each side, so that's a little bit limiting, but it's not too bad. And it's good enough, I think, because he also has a knee joint, which a lot of the elites didn't have, and he also has an ankle joint. So he's not the most articulated figure and not the most easily posed, but you can definitely get some decent poses out of him, especially since he's so big and massive looking, and he's really cool. So he's probably my favorite Arbiter figure, even though they didn't do a perfect job with him. He's pretty darn good, and I definitely recommend it. He's a really cool figure, definitely an important character. I assume he's going to be back in Halo 5 based on the books, so this is definitely one you should pick up without a doubt. So I would go look for it, and thank you for watching. So stay tuned for some more custom figures, some more figure reviews, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.